Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to Comfy Sunday. You guys, I hope that you are just as excited as I am, as Method is, as our good friend Roseanne is. You guys, you need no introduction to who our guest is this evening. I know that everyone here is really looking forward to it. It's going to be an incredible show. We're going to have a full 2 hours with one of the world's greatest comedians and personalities in the world. So please do sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we'll be right back after just a brief word from our sponsor. Silver always seems to play second fiddle to gold, Jay to Silent Bob, if you will, Bing Crosby to Bob Hope. But like any good double act, one feeds off the other. Silver is the straight guide to the more charming yellow metal, but its star shines just as bright. Noble Gold have seen their clients make over 14% on silver between December and January, and the curtain hasn't even really opened on the year yet. In a recent interview, Megan H. said, "I've worked with Noble Gold to transfer 2 IRAs over to convert to precious metals investments. The Noble Gold system is systematic and efficient. Everything is handled for you after a couple of simple forms and phone conversations." And she's just one of hundreds of satisfied clients who've left incredible reviews. So if you are looking for a company you can trust to look after your silver, IRA, or 401k investments, you can't go wrong with Noble Gold. Call them today at 877-646-5347 and let them take care of your retirement. And remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel.
Hey, well, real quick. Hey, everybody. What's up, Red Pill YouTube chat? Make sure everybody, click like and, share this out. It's going to be a good time. What's going on, Roseanne?
Hey guys, how you doing? Good to hear.
Hey, we're getting no sound, bud.
All right, so sorry about that. I was just saying that I wanted to thank Roseanne for coming on the show, and the fact that one of our mutual viewers had reached out to her and said that I had expressed an interest in having her on. And when the opportunity came up, everything happens in the exact way that it's supposed to. So for the fact that you're here tonight, I think that it's obviously meant to be, because Methods and I only just started this particular show a couple weeks ago, and I don't think that I would want you to be here in any other capacity. I'm very, very excited about it.
I like the comfy Sunday thing.
Yeah. It's a nice, relaxing atmosphere. We got the Roseanne couch here at the studio.
I see that. And Pepe's in the room too.
Yeah, all of our friends are here. They're ready to get into it. So
yeah, nobody wanted to miss it. Everybody, give us a 5x5 if you can hear all three of us in the audio. But
all right, I see a couple already. Good stuff. Well, Roseanne, we've got Patriots from all across the globe watching right now. I mean, people from all over. So, I'm kind of considering this, your welcome back tour. You've taken some time off. You've been producing videos yourself. Catching up on the truth movement, seeing what's going on. So, how do you feel? How do you feel after having the opportunity to just sit back and chill?
Well, I went, head deep into all the Q stuff, and I watch all y'all. I watch everybody who talks about Q, and that's what I do all day long. I call it my hating on Hillary. I told my boyfriend, I go, well, I got to go watch my hating on Hillary things, and so everyone in my family just expects it.
That's great.
It's so cool to be able to put puzzle pieces together without anybody shoving it down our throat, and we're just figuring it out ourselves. That's like a whole new kind of human being. It's exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we get to all work together and put pieces together as a family and all that stuff. Well, let me ask you real quick. How did you get into the Q movement? How did you first find out about it?
Well, it was a long time ago. And I got into the anonymous thing first. That was in the 90s. And just kept following it. You know, I followed all through all the anonymous hacks in the early part of the century. And I just love knowing and finding out and researching. It's so fun.
As far as the 2016 election was concerned, did you know Donald Trump before he ran? Had you ever had any experiences with him, like in Hollywood or in New York?
Yeah, I have. I did my third HBO special at Trump Tower, and Donald drove me out in his Dusseldorf on stage.
That's awesome.
And he's just a wonderful person. And like I always say, he's the only person in Hollywood who ever returned the favors I did for him. You know, the rest of them just forget that you're alive or whatever when you call. Yeah, he always returned my favors and everybody else's in Hollywood. You can take him at his word. He's a good guy.
He seems like a genuine person. I mean, that's one of the things about him that really struck me when I learned that, you know, he was actually going to run this time. Because, you know, I kind of think that when I first heard that he was thinking about running in 2016, it was just going to be another head fake, because he had already done it a couple of times and, you know, wanted to get his toes wet, but then really didn't do it. And clearly, you know, I mean, this was also the right time for him to run for president. And, you know, if he hadn't, then I think our country would be in a much more difficult position than we are now.
We'd be in about 10 wars.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, most definitely.
When I interviewed the President now Trump, and Michael Moore, I had a talk show, and I had them both on in 1998 to discuss capitalism versus socialism. And that's on the internet, and people should look that up. A lot of people say that's the best interview Trump ever gave. And I think it is too.
Well, I wish I would have known that ahead of time.
At the end of the interview, I said, "You ought to run for president." And he said, "Well, I'm thinking maybe, who knows?" But I'm glad he did.
What was the situation like between Michael Moore and Donald Trump on stage? I mean, was it a little more congenial than it might be today? Like, because Michael Moore wasn't so much, you know, absolutely hate Donald Trump at that point. I mean, Donald Trump was just a billionaire who had made a bunch of money.
Well, Michael Moore's interesting, but anyway, they were both very civil, and so was I, because back in those days, we actually had information that we could share and could actually ask an intelligent question and answer it with fact instead of feelings. Yeah. So that was way back in the day, and it's very interesting. I hope people will, click on it.
What can you tell us about the transformation that Hollywood's been through? I mean, you know, like you said, at one point in the past, I mean, people were still open to be able to, you know, like speak their mind and not be completely pilloried for it. Now it seems like in Hollywood, if you say something that goes against the grain or, maybe go outside the established order, I mean, they're going to go ahead and crucify you. Well,
because they're very afraid. So they got to make sure everybody's, on program, because one slip up and the American people will find out. And so they can't let that happen.
Have you spoken to anyone in Hollywood? I mean, anyone with, actors or, producers, people involved in the game that know about Q or are at all thinking or following the movement?
I shoved it down everybody's throat.
How'd they take it?
That's all I talk about. So, I was always talking about it, and everybody was like, I was very pilloried when I first came out about Q. It was about 2.5 years ago, I guess. And they said, Roseanne's, they always say I've lost my mind, because, as I always say, genius appears as insanity to imbeciles.
Yes, it does.
But,
well said.
But, oh yeah, that's what I do when I'm hating on Hillary. Yeah, nobody knew about it. Nobody knows anything about politics, and least of all do they know anything about geopolitics, which is why they mischaracterized my tweet as being racist rather than political.
Right.
Because they are that stupid.
Well, if you think about like those programs on like Facebook and stuff, you put in your picture and it'll show you what celebrity you look like. I mean, I personally think you nailed it, and I don't think it's as far as anything to do with race. I mean that's a great meme side by side.
Isn't it great? It's great, and I hope people will wake up as it goes along and see what I was really talking about. But I'm not an imbecile, nor am I uneducated. So when I give my opinion, it has a lot of research behind it, and nobody has ever been able to accept that in Hollywood with me. The first time I went there, I think they think I'm my character, and of course that character is part of me, but they don't know me at all, and in fact they're pretty terrified of me.
Well, they don't know themselves
once
either.
they figure out what I'm about.
Well, you've always been kind of an outsider in Hollywood. I mean, like my mom and I watched several of your HBO specials when I was a kid, and of course we watched Roseanne growing up as well. But I mean, you always struck me as somebody who was very forthright and didn't have the same viewpoint as the mainstream Hollywood viewpoint.
Yeah.
So I always thought that it was incredible that you were able to attain such fame, and such notoriety. It's a testament to your ability, I mean, to your sense of humor, to your writing abilities. What I'm really interested in is how did you even get the revival of Roseanne produced? Because when that all came about, I mean, I think it was, in my opinion, it's when a Trump derangement syndrome was reaching like a fever pitch.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So like, when I saw they're going to bring Roseanne back and they're going to have Donald Trump portrayed in a favorable light, I was like, no way. There's no way they're even going to let her do it. How did that even happen?
Well, they asked me if I wanted to do it, and they told me that John Goodman was in. So of course I said I'm in. As soon as I heard Goodman was in, and then I think it was like 6 days later we had a deal at ABC.
Wow.
So they said they wanted the show because they wanted a blue collar show, which of course they never did. That's a fucking lie. But,
right.
I gave them a great show that lasted one season.
You did. Is it even still on the air?
Yeah, they show it on reruns.
Oh, okay. But they're not making new episodes, are they?
They're making another show based on all my ideas in my life and my kids' life. They took that away from me, and they kind of tricked me into giving it up. And that's on.
Well, I mean, since that's your intellectual property, I mean, are they going to be paying you any kind of royalties, or do they own that?
They took it away from me. They tricked me. I'm smart, but I'm not evil, So when somebody says something, I take them at their word. I had no idea that they're just lying.
Wow.
So it's just what happens to people who come to Hollywood. It happened to all the African-American blues singers. It happened to everybody who comes from a working class background and not Harvard, who shows up in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It's just more of the same.
I also wanted to talk about the treatment of people on the set. You had said something very interesting, that they weren't interested in having an integrated writing staff. That is such a foreign idea to me. I mean, you see this, social justice virtuing coming out of Hollywood, and you just assume that it's this like land of rainbows and honey, and everybody's integrated together. No, I mean,
none of them know even one black person.
Really?
No, I'm serious.
I believe you.
And all of their ideas about black people are completely stereotypical from watching the Jeffersons. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's about as far as they've gone. Wow. So, I'm not kidding. And everything they say is suspect to me and almost made me regurgitate constantly. And I would always demand, African-American and Hispanic writers. And, when I did force them, they would hire some, but then they would actually keep them in another room and not let them come into the writer's room. And they would come to me and go, why am I here? And then I'd go down and fight these people more until I just end up writing with the people of color, my own self, and locking the writers out. These are things I went through. And now those same people are calling me a racist. Those same people.
Oh, the people that you were responsible for hiring.
No, the
Oh,
people
okay.
who fought me on hiring any
Okay.
people of color, and now they are, because they're the experts on racism.
Right.
And projection for sure.
And it's just sickening. It's I can't let it ruin my life, but I think for 2 years it did ruin my life, and I wondered if I would even survive. And it just is astounding to me the way they prance around as if, they had no trouble stealing my life from me and my life's work. They have no trouble. It doesn't even bother. They don't even think twice. It's just amazing.
Are you still acquainted with anyone from the show, with anyone that you were previously close with?
No.
No. So not John Goodman, not any of the people who play your children, none of them?
Nope.
Wow.
People I practically raised, too.
Yeah.
I practically raised those kids, and I really made sure that they were safe from, I always would check the teachers out, in other words, because I know what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And I, vetted everyone who was ever around those kids. And, I can't believe what they did, but they just don't have any self-reflection at all. That's what I've come to. Like, a lot of those people, they're just completely under mind control with no self-reflection. They have no shame at all.
I was going to say, do you think that it is a symptom of the Hollywood lifestyle that they're unable to look at the situation objectively and, consider your past together and come and, speak to you and maybe try to get your side of the story? Or are they being told that if they go and speak with you, that their careers will be over in the same way?
Yeah, I think they're all under a threat,
Okay.
because I watched Goodman say, "That's all I can say." He said that a few times. I know that he loves me, and someday I hope we'll have a big talk about it. But it was very hurtful to me and my whole family, and so I can't without anybody knowing what it cost to me. You can't really, you have to cross that bridge first before you can be friends again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have control of the narrative, so as soon as the falling out happened, they project what they're personally doing onto you, make sure nobody talks to you. It's kind of like how when people leave things like Scientology, and they don't allow any of those people to talk.
Yeah, it's very much like that. It is a cult. I mean, I really feel like the whole Democrat thing in Los Angeles, in California, especially show business, it's a cult. And you're not allowed to think for yourself. And if you do, you are suspect and a danger. And I've seen it happen to, a lot of other people as well, not just myself, but I am the only one whose work was, taken from them and continued without them, and who got killed. I love that they killed me.
Yeah, that was a rough thing for them to do.
Yeah, but I was a Trump supporter, and we're not, we're second-class citizens. So, that was their big push of that message, to let everybody know, stay in your little pen and don't say anything. Don't say anything, especially about the Iran deal, which was what my tweet is about.
Yep.
Don't mention what happened. Don't say, because, and now that it's, when I put the tweet out, I thought everybody was where I was, because I'm basically like 2 years ahead, like all of us who follow Q. Mm-hmm. We're 2 years ahead of the news cycle. And, I miscalculated, because I thought that a lot of people knew about the Iran deal and how it was tied to the Ukraine and all that other stuff. But, they didn't. But boy, God, you go up to any of them on the street, and they'll tell you the entire plot of 3 Hunger Games and every single character. It's just mind control. It's horrifying. Horrifying that people are not free to, because for one thing, yes, I always have been different, because I've always been a proponent and an activist for free speech. That's what makes this country great, and they cannot take that away from us. But they're well on their way to doing it, and we have to fight back.
And I think that that's the greatest part of this movement, is because that's exactly what we're doing. Not only fighting back against what these people have put us through for generations and the lies that we've been told, but now we're really holding the reins of the information. I mean, we have the opportunity to reach a much larger audience than we have been able to in the past. And you've got more people who are, open to that. Now, what's it like in Hawaii? Have you found that it's as bad as Los Angeles? Or is it more like, other people that are like you and who are similarly minded?
No, not at all. I could never live any place where people thought like me, because then who would I be pissed off at all? But no, Hawaii is a complete socialist state. I want to write about it. It's completely socialist. 1 out of every 3 people is on, assistance. And they come from all over the country here to be on assistance. Really? There's a huge lot of mentally ill people here untreated, and that's also something that I like to advocate for. Is I was glad Trump brought that up about, mental health and making that treatment available to people who need it, which the Democrats, they don't give a damn about that either. But, I think that Trump has taken away every talking point that the Democrats have ever had and made it Republican, although we know he's not really a Republican. He's more of an independent.
Yeah.
Kind of a mishmash of a whole bunch of things, like most of us. Well, and, but I was so happy to hear him talk about mental health care and healthcare in particular, and I hope that he'll rise to the occasion and give the American people a decent health system that serves us all and not just a few.
Sure. I think what's really great about Donald Trump is that he's taken the Republican Party and molded it in such a way so that it appeals to a much larger swath of the American public. And you're right, he's kind of taken these niche areas that were previously under the purview of the Democrats and said, hey, this is good for all Americans. Let's go ahead and work on that together. Now, thinking about people that have been affected by this, Nancy Pelosi, from California, she is basically falling apart under the weight of the good things that Trump is doing for this country. And she's completely out of her element, I think. Now, I think I heard you say the other day that you used to know Nancy Pelosi. How is it now, looking at Nancy and maybe other politicians in California, and thinking back to how it used to be years ago when you were there and you might have known them?
Yeah, I was pretty much a socialist myself back in the day. I'd been raised a socialist. My dad and his dad were Russian socialists, Bolsheviks or whatever you want to call it, and not communists though. And they believed that socialism at that time, people believed that you should get your health care when you retire, you should get your Social Security, and you should get the benefits that you deserve, like the GI Bill. Or if you serve this country, that people used to be able to put $1 down on a house. And both parties got away with ripping us off that and stealing our money. Yeah. So basically, we're just a big ATM machine to all politicians.
I would have to agree with you there.
Well, that's having us, the Cube movement, the truth movement, whatever you want to call it, building up as it has over the last few years has definitely got to be a nightmare. Because yes, we are the ATM machine, but they also needed us to keep our mouth shut and not look at all these things. And then now we are questioning every narrative that they put out in real time. We already have the memes ready. We already have our points ready. And then we literally just own social media across all platforms. So to watch this go, no, let me ask you about that. What do you think about things like that now as compared to before, when people kind of kept, people did talk about things, you followed this stuff before, but what do you think about how having a movement such as this during this time, what do you think about it?
Right now?
Yes.
I mean now?
Yes, having this movement during this point in time.
Well, it's just such a great evolution because, we're going into, instead of I, me, we're going into we. And I think that that's an evolutionary leap for people, for thinkers. And I think that it's going to eventually make the world much, much better, and not in too long either, because we know we have to solve the problems at hand. We can't allow people to enrich themselves anymore on exploiting those problems. Let's talk about, Democrat-controlled cities. How they could, like when my son went to college in San Francisco, and when I would go up there to visit my son and see the numbers of homeless, suffering people on the streets, while Nancy is living in her vineyard. Did you see her vineyard? Laura Loomer went up there.
Yes, right. I saw it, yeah.
But I mean, is that like an oligarchy or what? And they don't give a damn about the people. And I was very, I've always been very into civil rights, and especially African American civil rights here, and Native American civil rights, and everybody's civil rights. But I worked a long time to raise money for those two things, and the vast majority of those people are Black, and that yet the Democrats that live in those cities still support that. And I don't know how they can do that morally. I don't know how they look themselves in the mirror. They see it right in front of their face too, but they somehow go, oh, Trump, everything was great till Trump. Man, there wasn't any homeless people or sick people or anything before Trump. I mean, they swallow it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you say morality, I don't think that they have any. I mean, as sad as it is, I think that any morality that they have displayed in the past was, it's just acting, basically. I mean, because clearly all of these issues existed prior to President Trump, and now things are only getting better as a result of him coming into power. I think I've always thought that there was plenty enough money available in the world, at least in the United States, that there's no reason we need to have a homeless population. Like there's no reason that we need to have people with mental health issues, as a large part of that homeless population, or the drug problems that we have. I mean, have you been to San Francisco now that there's needles and human excrement all over the street?
When I would go up there to visit my son, I would see that, and I stayed in a nice hotel, but when you went outside, it was just suffering everywhere, just suffering people. And boy, they were getting greedy too, I have to say. Like, they'd come up and go, hey, Roseanne, what about a 20? I don't want any effing 5. He'd go, what about a 20? You got it. I'd be like, okay, I'll give you 20, but I want you to promise that you're going to buy drugs with it.
I'd be like, yes, I can do that.
I remember also I broke my leg my knee in San Fran. And I had to live in that same hotel there, the Marriott downtown. And I couldn't get out of bed for 3 months. And, when I finally did get out of bed to go to the doctor, it was needles and poop right in front of the hotel. And I became very irate at that. And I said, I want to speak with the manager. And I said, boy, for the price I'm paying here, I ought to be able to get into my damn car without having to, risk my life on getting AIDS or, why don't you hire some of these people to clean this up? And he looked at me like I was from Mars. He's like, well, that's out of my control. I'm like, well, somebody who runs this whole shebang ought to know that your guests don't want to be stepping in human feces and walking over dying drug addicts with needles stuck in their arms when they leave this fancy place. But they can never see outside of their own little cubicle. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's all the compartmentalization for whatever they want to deal with. Right. Well, Roseanne, do you mind if we go through a couple of super chats real quick so I can, the audience has had a couple of questions. I want to get them out there. I need to say thank you to Herkimer Fuddwaddle. He said, Roseanne, non-carbonundrum illegitimus. I don't know what that means, but I think it's Latin. Kimberlyn, thank you for the super chat. Orabundant says, blessed to be here with Real Warriors. Thank you for that. Kip's Camera, thank you for joining as a member. Berserker Bear, thank you. Brad Stenquist, I'm so excited to be amongst such highly vibrating people. Thank you for that, Brad. 27 Sparkle, glad you're here for Comfy Sunday. Hercurator.
It's just ass.
Thank you. HRCH HRC hater. Okay, that was too clever for me to figure out. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate that. Sunshine again says, Roseanne, who do you think will be arrested first?
Oh boy, do I think about this all the time, don't y'all?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
It says it will shake everybody to the core.
Yep.
So, you know, the way he's going so slow, and sometimes I'm like, come on, you guys, you know, because people are like, I'm losing faith. And what are you going to say to them? You don't want them to lose faith. That they're like, well, you know, now what's his name got off and they're all getting off, but Stone gets, you know, 120 years.
Well, he just requested a new trial because one of the jurors came out. Turns out she was biased against him. Go figure, you know. And now that we lost all 4 of those prosecutors because they were against whatever the DOJ saying that they were unfair, I think that this is going to be kind of a turning point. You know, I mean, we've also got the General Flynn case. You know, I mean, clearly they broke the law in the General Flynn case, holding back that exculpatory evidence. So, you know, this is something I talk about a lot. You know,
I think that Trump is so smart. I think that he knows what he's doing and he's playing it so well because he's also creating theater for the American people.
Yes.
Which we love. He's giving us a TV show to watch, like the State of the I got to go in because this guy brought a bulldozer over here.
Okay. All right. No problem.
Nobody likes me to smoke in there, but I don't give a damn.
It's your house.
Yeah, everybody's gone, so oh my God, now I'm trying to clear the smell of smoke out of the whole house before they come back. But anyway, so.
Well, I think you're right. I think that President Trump wanted to set this up so that the rest of the American public could kind of wake up to what's been taking place in the same way that we have, you know. They have to.
It's really. He has to be very ginger because this whole country could explode.
Right.
And the person I'm thinking he's going to arrest first is indeed the one he arrests first because it's not going to be pretty. So we've got to learn a few more things, including about the Iran deal. That's key.
Yeah.
And I think that the person he's going to arrest first is President Obama.
Really? I mean, that's a ballsy move.
It is a ballsy move.
Yeah.
Well, we also had he just recently had the Kenyan leader come over and have a meeting with them, and they've set up a corruption task force, first ever with them. So that's when my senses went off, and I was like, whoa, wait a second, he's now working with Kenya and all that stuff, and that would be a shot heard around the world if you picked him up. But I also think they are propping up.
Remember, you said that Obama will beg for Kenyan citizenship before this is over.
Yes.
Right. And then right after Trump gets acquitted, he's like, let me bring over the Kenyan leader real quick and let's talk a second.
Yeah.
So, I see where you're definitely going with that. And so I would love it. I would love to watch that part of the movie for sure. But I also think that they are setting up the idea of Brennan going down as well. He just keeps being used in the news and being the pinnacle part of where the investigation, started.
I know, but he just was following orders.
Right.
Ooh, man, I think that he has been the handler for Barack Obama for many, many years.
Yeah,
so I think whatever Obama was telling anybody to do, I think that Brennan was just walking alongside him, holding his hand. I need to say thank you to Michelle Mangiavillano. Thank you to the Mandalorian. Mandalorian says, hi, Roseanne. So happy you're here on Comfy Sunday hanging out. This is one for my homie Baby Yoda. Thank you. Hey, Jude says, I've loved Roseanne since I first saw her on Carson doing her domestic goddess routine. I remember that. I was very young. Be Lucky says, keep it up. Baby Yoda says, give Roseanne a big hug for me. She has always been so straightforward. This is refreshing to me. Thank you for being here. Love you and all. Baby Yoda is a good friend of the program. Kylan Jones says, I feel like all my friends are hanging out, but I'm not there. All my heart, my love. Kalin from Turner, Oregon. Glad you're here.
Wait, thank you.
Yeah. Stephanie Uvistine joined as a member. Thank you for that. Oh, Country from Patriot News says, I'm so proud of you, Roseanne. My donation is on behalf of Patriot News Channel. Come and join us. We love you. Red Pill Methods and RP78. Great show. Yes, I have plenty of people that would love to have you on their show after this. I know.
Well, I'll come on because I just think, one way I can be used in a good way that kind of fulfills my hopes and dreams is to get people talking to each other. That's what I tried to do with the 10th season of my show. Like,
Yep.
come on, people, we had a Hillary hater and a Trump hater under one roof in the same family. And, they loved each other through it. And that's what America needs to hear, I think. We can talk and we can solve problems. We don't have to respond with hatred just because we've been brainwashed and given PTSD so they can manipulate us. Let's love our way out of this. That's how we're going to win.
Well
I think
said.
that's a great way to put it, yeah. Govna says, when the Patriot Network is formed, I want to see a new show called Miss Connor. I'll watch TV for that. Love you, Roseanne. Jason Dunn says, RP, have you tried vaping liberal tears? Dense cloud production with a very desirable flavor. Supply will be endless after Trump's reelection. Yes, I would vape liberal tears. Trissy T says, were co-actors with Trump derangement syndrome looking for any reason to 86 you? Yeah. Do you think that people on the show, people behind the scenes at ABC, had they been looking for a reason to get you out of there after, kind of getting your IP back there at ABC?
Yeah, it began almost immediately. And I'll tell you what, if Sarah Gilbert ever tells you she's got your back, that doesn't mean what it sounds like.
She's like that.
She's got a knife in it.
Oh, man.
But I was told that I was going to be protected and blah blah blah. And as soon as I gave them all my ideas, they were done with me. It started immediately. The first thing that happened was there was an ABC. We did a news thing, where people asked us questions about the show, and the first 5 questions, which ABC approved this too, and I knew it, were from African American journalists who asked me how, after a lifetime of fighting racism, I could vote for a racist. And I said, well, that's your opinion. Mm-hmm. And first I was keeping it on the map, Then the second one got up and asked the exact same question, and I said, well, that's your opinion. Then a third, then a fourth, and then a fifth, in a row.
Wow.
There were no questions about the show or anything. And Sarah said, don't say anything. Don't answer him. Just blow him off. And that pissed me off because I'm like, bitch, you're not sitting here taking it. I hate when people say. So anyway, so I just went off and I said, okay, let's really talk about racism. And I saw like all the ABC people like swallow their tongues. And I said, I couldn't vote for Hillary after what she did in Haiti.
There you go.
So then it was like, meh. And then the next question was like, what's it like to be together after all these years? So I'm like, and then they were mad because they're like, stop, don't use this as a vehicle to air your politics. And I'm like, then don't have 5 people stand up and attack me like that at the beginning. Why didn't you stop that? Why didn't you do anything? And John Goodman said, they were really trying to crucify you. He doesn't like Trump either, but he's like a common sense, not liking Trump person, because there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But, the rest of them were very rabid haters of Trump. Rabid. Just effing off the charts, crazy.
The hypocrisy in that statement,
My own daughter is one of them. She'll kill me for this. But when I was there in San Francisco with my broken knee, that was when we had, it was my birthday is November 3rd. So my whole family was there. And so, of course, that was traumatic. No, I'm kidding. But we watched the returns, and I knew Trump was going to win, Mm-hmm. And when they were coming back and going, and the newscasters were freaking out and all that stuff. And my daughter, she's 41 years old. And she started crying and she goes, he's going to deport all the gays. Actually, I mean, for real.
Deport them. Oh, I love it. Oh, I've got people in my family who were like that too, who don't speak to me anymore. So I can only imagine what it was like that night. I mean, I was very, very celebratory. But so Chrissy T says, why did you allow the show to go on instead of canceling? And that wasn't up to you, was it?
It was up to me.
Okay.
And because here's how it works.
Okay.
They came to me and they said, you know, everyone's going to lose their job. And I mean, I'm a working class spokesperson, you know, and I knew that the crew mostly, you know, they'd already spent that money when we got the show renewed. And I couldn't sleep if I thought they were going to lose their house, because I knew you can't really get a job once they're manned up, you know, you can't. And I just felt I owed it to the crew and all of working class America to say, well, then go on without me. And they said, if you'll sign off, we'll go on TV, you know, we'll start saying how the show is by your grace and with your permission. And we'll all say, we know you're not a racist. And that was very important to me at the time.
Sure.
And so, you know, I signed, and the next day they were on the air calling me a racist. Everything they told me was a lie. I said, what if it gets renewed? I'm going to be losing, you know, a lifetime of payment for my ideas, which I formulated over a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And they go, don't worry, it's not going to last. It won't even make it the season. I asked everybody, what if it's renewed? And I signed these away, and they said, no, it's only for one season. Don't worry. So that's what happened.
Wow. I am so sorry. That's just horrible.
It is really horrible. What they did to me is unspeakable. And, you know, they like a bad boyfriend that doesn't want you to tell how he blackens your eye and hurts you.
Sure.
But you know, they want me to continually act like it's no big deal, but, you know, I can't, because I'm not a liar. And, you know, it's truly unprecedented. All of my comedian friends called me and they're like, this is unprecedented. Yeah. They hated Trump so bad that they had to kill me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we as a movement expose plenty of tweets from the left of them saying horrific things that are not
like
even
this
joking.
One guy, James Gunn, he has over 10,000 tweets about putting his hands down little boys' pants and stuff, but ABC rehired him.
Yep, exactly. Guardians of the Galaxy. Looney Tunes.
I mean, then they talk about their standards. They say, well, this isn't up to our standards. And I'm like, how about Harvey Weinstein? He's up to your standards, though, right?
Yeah.
But you can't mistake somebody's race, because I mistook this woman's race. I thought she was Iranian, and I didn't know she was African American. And yes, I should have looked it up and blah, blah. But the picture, she looked exactly like the character in the science fiction movie. And it was just like a joke. I didn't know that I was going to be, you know, up there with David Duke.
Right. You're right. I mean, when I saw that meme, I mean, you know, I was following you on Twitter at the time. I saw the meme and I was like, she's dead on. I mean, this Valerie Jarrett looks just like Helena Bonham Carter in Planet of the Apes. I mean, how could you not see it? You know, so I really do think that they were just looking for an excuse. I wanted to put a new
caption on it saying, neither of these are white women.
That's golden.
And it's just so awful. Their term for racist and racism is so off the mark. It's excusing real racism and excusing real racists. And so finally, after 2 years, I just came to the conclusion, I reject them calling me that. I'm not that. And they can kiss my fat, rich, happy ass.
Good. Yeah, that's what they want.
Roseanne.
They want to beat you, you know? So as long as you don't allow that to happen, then there's no way they can win.
That's why I love Trump, because he thinks like a comedian, you know?
Yes.
And when I saw Trump getting roasted by Obama at that one thing, you know, where Obama's like, you'll never, you know, it was funny jokes.
Yeah.
Obama does have good timing, although he draws it out a little bit too much. So if I saw him on stage, I'd be like, man, you need to work on your timing. Your timing is, you know, it's off. It's too self-indulgent.
Tell him.
But Trump, man, that guy thinks like a comic. And I could see him sitting there, and I'm identifying with him as a comedian. And he's thinking, I heard it right in my head. He's going, oh, I'm going to run for president, and I'm going to have the last laugh, because a good comic, you always have to have the last laugh, and so do I, and I will, and I know I will.
Good. That's what you got to do. Looney Tune says, Roseanne, America loves you. I boycotted the Connors, as did I. Social Observer says, did you get Stanhope to not hate on Trump so hard? Doug Stanhope, are you friends with him?
Yes, we're really good friends. And, I'm like, Doug, what are you even saying? What are you even thinking? Yeah, we discuss it. And, some people like to dissect Trump's larger than life personality, but that has nothing to do with his, format that he's laying out with his, foreign policy and the other things that he does. They're beyond brilliant, and they've needed to be done for 40 years, and I'm so glad he's doing it.
Even longer.
And when I ran for president in 2012, of course, I ran as a socialist because anybody can.
Sure.
But I had a lot of ideas for fixing our country, and I'm always continually pleased when I hear Trump kind of repeating some of the things I said. I'm blown away by it, and I just think, there's just two ways to go: idiocy or intelligence. And it's all going the same place.
Have you spoken to President Trump at all since he's been elected? I mean, have you reached out to him?
Yeah, he called me when the show was #1.
Good.
And my son's, and they did a big news story on it. And my son, who's 40, he goes, uh-oh. And yeah, he was right.
Oh, man.
But it was great to speak to him and thank him for what he has done for Jewish people in our country. We're a real minority here. We're 1% of the population, and Trump has really included us in all civil rights, which we were being left out of by the Democrats. So I thanked him for that on behalf of my mother and Jews who think like I do.
Good. Brittany Taylor said, Red Pill, you're awesome. Thank you, Brittany. Zoso Dude 77 says, Roseanne, are you aware that you're speaking with the Guinness World Record holder of being cued? My co-host Methods. Were you aware of that?
No.
Yes.
Oh, because he's been retweeted by Q so many times?
Yes, he's rather modest about it, but Methods, you want to talk on it?
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it, just because I appreciate it when it happens, and it's really, really cool and exciting. But I get excited like when it happened, and it was a retweet of mine, and it was somebody I think with like 4,000 or 5,000 followers, and to watch them light up and have that moment, and I know I'm riding the same notification wave as she was. It's just a beautiful thing to happen because we all work so hard. And we're just wanting the truth out there and all that stuff. And when Q puts a laser pointer on it for the whole world to see, your notifications blow up. You see people digging on it. The thousands of Q sent me. It's very, humbling and all that. But no, I just see it as something as, an honor, to be a part of the Q history stuff.
Yeah, we were all so proud of you when we saw it too.
I appreciate it, Roseanne.
It's a good time. I couldn't be prouder of myself to be here, already being friends with the guy and then seeing it happen. It's uplifting for me and it's exciting for me. So I can only imagine, what he's stifling right now, trying to hold it back. Baby Yoda said, would you please hang out with us in a chat some night, Roseanne? Always kind and uplifting. Thank you. Thanks, Red. Thank Methods, mods, and chat. Hand clap for our Patriots. Love you all. Love you too, Baby Yoda. Yes, Roseanne, you're welcome on the show anytime, and you're always welcome in the chat if you want to jump in there and say something.
Thank you. I have done that already, but
okay.
No, I didn't say it was me.
Okay. Well, it goes by so fast too,
Yeah,
It's
possible.
I've got the chat on 120-second slow mode right now. That means that every single person in the chat can only chat once every 2 minutes, and we've got almost 9,000 people watching, so it's flying.
Cool.
This is a record. This is a record for number of people watching consecutively, so thank you.
A great time to remind everybody to click like and subscribe and share this out there. We're not even done with the first hour, guys, so
yeah,
this has been great.
And go to my YouTube page too. I think it's Roseanne Barr, but I make videos too, and I always talk about you on there, Bolfie. I talk about all the cute people.
Definitely.
I will drop the link in the chat.
Please do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Ronnie Bear just gave super chat. Thank you, Ronnie. Coco Scott says, wish I had more. Got you free. You got freaking Roseanne Barr as a guest. Girl fanning hard over here. She was woke way before all of us. Yes, very, very true. Vaughn Z says, tired of winning yet? Great show. Thank you, Vaughn. Jason Dunn says, Pelosi doesn't scare me too much. In Louisiana, we deal with crabs every day. Concrete Watershed said, mind blown. Great to hear Roseanne. S. Blezzy, thank you for joining the channel. V, thank you for that. Brent Williams, thank you. Ben Schwagel says, can you ask Roseanne if she knows about the serpent seed? Are you familiar with the concept of the serpent seed? This is like the children of Cain.
Oh yeah, I know about the children of Cain. Yeah,
Okay.
the snake. Yeah,
Yep.
I do know about that.
Okay, yeah, we did a show on it briefly in the past with Zen Garcia. He was a good guy, but Ben Schwagel is a big fan. Star Karma says, Roseanne is the bomb. Are you smoking a J, she wants to know. If so, you rock even more. Where we go on, we go all.
No, not yet. I'm smoking.
Wait till the call-in portion.
Yeah.
Candace S. Dave says, I want to know if Roseanne heard me and Dr. Mikovits on McAllister TV channel about chimeras created by vaccines. Were you listening to Linda's channel when they were talking about the chimeras? Okay.
Yeah, I love Linda. She's a deep thinker. She
Yes.
really goes out there. I love it.
Yeah, Linda's great. She's also a friend of the channel. Deplorable Scott's Last, thank you. Syllabor says, love you, Roseanne. Thanks for having her on. Red Pill, thank you. Elizabeth G says, thanks for a great show. Love from Elizabeth in Alberta, Canada. Where we go one, we go all. Marshall Cerise says, expose CPS and bring my daughters home. Love, Rosie. Thank you for that. Hope everything's okay. God's Daughter says, given in honor and gratitude for Roseanne. Hugs from Arizona. And it's a triple bracket hug. Red Pill Doc says, history. Thank you, Red Pill Doc. Alexandria Occasional Cortex, another friend of the show, says, Barack should be hung. Michelle already is. And then, thanks, dude. Bella Rito says, Roseanne, how come your videos and Rose McGowan talk in code and syllables? Always loved you. Are you using code in your videos? I actually had somebody ask me that the other day, if you were using code in your videos.
Yeah, I always use code. I love it.
Okay.
All my tweets are coded too. That's
well,
why everybody always thought they were crazy. But they were all highly coded for people. You know, you want to talk to people who know, and you can't just say it, so you have to code them.
Yeah, you got to be careful. My mother, Real Red Pill 78 Mom, says, Roseanne, I keep asking my son to tell you that we were born 6 days apart. Love you, Scorpio sister. Mom, I did tell her as soon as we spoke. I told her she can vouch for that. In the Matrix, Triple X says, we love you, Roseanne. I think he just meant to say we love you, Roseanne. Thank you for that, Matrix. And then Michael Kenny says, Rosie, I know the money ain't the same, but so happy you're not surrounded by possessed evil and selfish people anymore. I think that in a manner of speaking, they set you free because, you know, I mean, what would that be like for your spirit every day to have to go through that?
It was very hard. It was like, imagine yourself in a room with about 20 people that hate Trump. I mean, you know, with Trump derangement syndrome.
Right.
And extreme, even more than you see on the media. Extreme Trump derangement. They have no idea about. I'd say. I mean, the stuff they'd say. We'll get into that later, I guess.
Okay. Constitution Chick says, love you, Roseanne. Any news on starting a podcast? Anything going on besides just the videos for now?
Well, I want to start a podcast. I need somebody to walk me through it because I'm so dumb on technology. And I got Anomaly was out here a week or so ago, and he says he might be moving out here and helping me. So I hope that I can figure it out.
Okay.
I really want to do it, and I want to talk live to people like you're doing too. You know, take calls.
I'll look. I will help you in any way possible.
Thank you.
Vintage Mom says, love you forever, Roseanne. Diana ODO says, why do you think Comey has been so quiet? I mean, I have my own opinions on that, but James Comey, Roseanne, any thoughts on why he's kind of quieted down in recent months?
Well, he lawyered up.
Yeah.
So they probably told him to shut up.
I tend to agree. I think that he knows exactly what's about to take place, and the less that he says, the more likely he is to be safe.
He said more than enough already.
Yeah, he's kind of dug his own grave. Moanon says, come on my show, please. Thank you for that, Mo. Christine in Texas says, Roseanne, did you see a future POTUS Trump? And I think we answered that already when you said that he should run for president when he was on your show. Did you ever have any other conversations with him about that as a possibility besides that one time?
No, mostly we just talk about TV. You know, he's a great broadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and I love to talk to people about how TV works, and not very many people know.
Sure. All right. Let's see. Oh, Hop On In 2 says, did Roseanne mention Isaac Kappy? Did you know Isaac Kappy? I mean, I knew him before he died, but.
No, I did not know him. You know, I'm over here in Hawaii, and, but I did watch I watched his videos, and I was so sad when, you know, he died, if he did die.
Yeah, I know. It's
people say maybe he went into the witness protection program or something.
I would like to think that that's the case, but I mean, I've seen the crime scene photos, and I mean, it looked legitimate to me, but I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different reports, and I suppose that there's no way we're ever really going to know.
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew says, Roseanne, have you ever been exposed to or heard of the SRA and pedo networks in Hollywood? Satanic ritual abuse. Any exposure to that in Hollywood? Anybody that you know that was specifically involved?
Well, you know, like I've suffered through mental illness myself. I think I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
And a few times I was hospitalized for it, and I was always in the hospital with survivors of SRA. So I knew about it from way back in the 70s. And I have been a kind of a behind the scenes person. And by that I mean I've hooked a lot of people up with other people over the years, but I know a lot about it. And in Hollywood, I never really went to any parties or any stuff like that because I have a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was mostly, when I wasn't working, I was home. And but you know, once you know about it, you kind of have a radar for it. And you can tell by the way people act and the things they say and the things they're into. And the things they laugh at, you can really tell by the things they laugh at.
Right.
And some people just have no bottom. And they're very much, those kind of people are very much rewarded in show business because there's not much they won't do, except for tell the truth or have honor.
Right.
I got to get my juice. I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead. And let's see. I guess I'm going to have to wait on the rest of these super chats because everyone is asking questions directly to Roseanne. You guys, we're going to get into the call-in portion here very, very soon. We're going to finish up the rest of these super chats, and then we'll enter into the call-in portion. Hey, Craig Mason's Reasonable Conversation channel. What's up, buddy? So Roseanne, Daddy Dragon says, Roseanne, come on, Daddy Dragon, the full English show. England loves you. He's a good guy. Ben Schwagel says, ask her if she's talked to Owen Benjamin lately, and if she hasn't, she should. Are you friends with Owen Benjamin? Have you spoke with him at all?
No, I was criticizing him, and you know, because I'm a farmer over here, and his farming stuff I was very bothered by, because you can't be a farmer if you don't have an ATV and a rifle, and he doesn't have those things. So I was sort of making fun of him. But also he says some really crazy stuff about Jewish people, and I don't like it.
Sure. I've heard it. What is it that you farm in Hawaii?
Macadamia nuts.
Ooh.
Pineapple, nice. Citrus, vetiver grass, you know, all kinds of fruits and papayas and stuff like that.
Sweet. That sounds awesome. Red Pill Doc says, the end of Trump's scrolling election date tweet ends forever. This was on BO's summer playlist and Braun Shavers. Okay, we'll have to look into that one deeper. Thank you for that. Denise, thank you for the super chat. Doug McDougal says, America is lacking in real women. Thank you, Roseanne, for being real. I can totally second that. Diane Rain 1 says, lost voice, I can't call later. Already covered Domestic Goddess on Carson. Please ask Roseanne what Johnny Carson was like. He nearly cried watching her stand-up routines. Love you guys. So yeah, how about Johnny Carson in the flesh?
Well, he was so nice to me. Oh my God, it was just astounding because he was my idol my whole life, and Bill Maher is like that too. We always talk about Johnny and his influence over our country, and man, he was way larger than life. And I think if we had him on the air right now, we wouldn't be so damn mad at each other.
Sure.
But he was so nice to me, and he asked me if I wrote my own material, and I said, yes, I do. And he said, well, you're going to be the biggest woman comic that's ever been on television. And he goes, and I give you my personal word to that. I'm going to help you. And, I was just standing there trying not to pee all over.
That's awesome.
So nice to me always.
Yeah. Let's see. Bill S. says, has Roseanne heard of Loretta Fuddy in Hawaii? I'm sure you have. She supposedly fixed Obama's birth certificate and died mysteriously. I did a show on the Fuddy hoax, we called it, because there were some really strange things going on with that. Do you know anything about it, beyond just the fact that it happened?
Yeah, I do. And I know about the Subaru group. Yes. And all that. And Obama looks just like that guy.
Yes, he does. What about the idea that Loretta Fuddy might be actually Barack Obama's mother? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that, but I think he looks just like Stanley Dunham and the Dunhams.
Well, I think that the thing is that Loretta Fuddy is Stanley Dunham, because there's no pictures of them together. They're supposedly friends, and they were both part of the Sbarro cult, but you've only got the younger picture of Stanley and then the older picture of Loretta. And I actually did a comparison. I'll send you the video. I took their faces and superimposed them, and they actually line up. It's kind of interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one. Oh, my God. Nothing surprises me, though.
No, not at all. And then Cancer Free Kitchen, thank you for the super chat. Jitty Chitty, thank you for the super chat. Daddy Dragon, Roseanne England loves you. Miami Chris says, Roseanne, so much has changed in a year. These kids absolutely adore you. Thank you so much for joining us, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. God bless you, too.
Then Dr. Dawn Michael, thank you for the super chat. Denise again, she says, Roseanne should do a show with James Woods. I think that's a great idea. You and James would be a natural fit. Do you know James Woods? Have you guys spoken?
Yeah, we have spoken. You know what? I hear that about once a month from people. They think me and him would be a good thing together, but I love him. I'm glad he's back on Twitter.
I am too. Metalhead says gay Republicans can stay. Yes, of course. Floyd Standifer the Fourth says Roseanne Barr is epic. The grandma I always wish I had. Most certainly. Grandpa C says he loves you, Roseanne. Jamie Lavender says, I believe Roseanne is right per Q Drop 3401. The unsealing of the first indictments will bring about the unity and change we can believe in. Yeah, I now that I hear that post again, I think it's a lot more likely. So, very cool. I hope that's it. Vivian Williams says, I want to hang out with Rosie and talk. Joyce Bippus says, love Roseanne's vid last night with Lowell and others. Review. I'm sorry, that just jumped on me. We're going to go here. There's going to be too many super chats to go through, you guys. We're going to go through the rest of these at the end of the show. But I just want to get this last one in here, and then we're going to go into the rest of them at the end. I can't even find it. All right, well, you guys, sorry if I didn't get to your super chats. There are just far too many, and we're into the second hour, and we're going to need to open up the phones for the calls. But Roseanne, just so you know how this is going to work, I'm going to put the phone number that people have to call on the screen here. People are going to call in with Zoom, and I'm going to let one person in at a time, and I want to make sure everybody is aware. You're going to have 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to move on to the next caller. So please try to get your question down into a succinct question. Ask your question.
Please be succinct.
Yes.
I can't stand it when people ramble, and I'll go nuts.
Yeah, yeah, and as soon
What she
as someone asks their question, then we're gonna hang up with you, and then we're gonna let you take the answer off the air. So no follow-ups, so everybody gets a chance. And it looks like White Hat is already here. White Hat is my own personal government insider who's on the show. He's done the show with us a couple of times. But White Hat, are you there, buddy?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's going on?
Hey, Roseanne. Hey, Mama. Love you, girl.
Hey, thank you so much. You're a doll.
Yeah, I love you. Hey, listen, I told my buddies I was going to spend the next few weeks trying to convince you to come down to the Red Pill Expo with us down in Jekyll.
Jekyll
Where's
Island.
that? Oh, Jekyll Island? Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Come
Jekyll
on,
Island,
girl.
Georgia. We're all going to go.
Oh, my God. Are y'all really going to go?
Yes, we can
Hell
film a
yeah,
live
girl.
segment.
Oh, that's fantastic, you guys.
You need to let me take you. I'll take you to a couple of spots down there. Maybe we'll hit up a Waffle House.
I love the Waffle House.
Well, hey, look, I don't want to take your time up, but if you ever need anything, you reach out to me, okay?
Thank you so much. You have a good day. Thank you for your nice words.
Hey, no problem. Take it easy, Patriots. Love y'all.
We'll see you, buddy. Thanks again. All right. And I just happened to see that True Reporting was actually the next caller that came in. So
And you reach out to me, okay?
Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Okay, Thomas, you're going to have to mute your stream in the background.
Oh, Thomas.
Amateur.
My bad, bro. My bad. I was watching, listening. Hey, Roseanne, how are you? Hey, everyone.
Good. How are you?
We're good. I'm good. I have 2 questions that I'll make quick. Okay. I saw someone put it in the chat, but I had already written it down. I was thinking you had Bill Maher on your show, on the Roseanne show. Knowing what we know about him now and through the Q post about him and the Red Shoe Club, I won't go any further than that, but would you lean towards him being what we've learned him really to be through Q?
Well, I tell you, one time I almost lost my mind there. I went to the Playboy Mansion for some big party, because I used to like Hugh Hefner because he supported Children of the Night, which was a group that still exists that helps kids get away from their pimps, and Hugh Hefner really kept that going for years. So, no matter what he did, that was a good thing. And me and Bill used to get in big fights over there every time we ran into each other. And boy, this one time I almost was going to hit him, this one big fight me and him got into. And I almost decked him. But yeah, he's just he's way out there. And,
Sure.
When you defend the indefensible, that's not good.
No.
Very true. I have one second question. I love stand-up. I'm literally in love with it. You did a tour with Andrew Dice Clay, as you can see on my green screen, last year, who Dice is up there too, one of my favorite comics. Dice isn't well known or is known for being the furthest thing from PC. So my question is, how was the tour with him? And do you see the comedy scene getting away from this PC style, much as we've seen with the specials of Bill Burr and Chappelle?
Well, I love those two guys too. Dice really pushes it. It was wonderful to watch them work. We had a great time for two old Jews, and we enjoyed it. And he has a lovely family, and I loved it. I loved it was mostly his audience because we were on the East Coast,
Sure.
at Long Island and stuff. And I love Dice. He's been a friend for 30 some years, and he has really perfected his comedy. And now he's like, he's always was a monster, but now he's like kind of a aged and wiser Dice. But he's still nice. And I love working with him. He's just a wonderful person.
His Instagram is amazing. I'll let you guys go, Rosie. It was amazing speaking with you. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you, and me of you.
All right.
Watch you all the time.
I'm flattered. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thomas, I love the mustache. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thanks, Papa. See you, Methods.
See you, Thomas.
All right, perfect time for me to say that I met Andrew Dice Clay when I was like, I want to say like 8 or 10 on the set of Ford Fairlane in California. My mom's friend was the script supervisor on that movie. And so like she got us onto the set and I hung out for a day and he was very respectful because of course I was a very young child. Gosh, we've got a lot of people on the phones. I don't think we're going to be able to get to everybody, but we do have my good friend Tim Becker on the line. Tim, what's going on, buddy? Got to get your microphone working. I love the cat though.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Tim. What's your question for Roseanne?
My cat was all over me. I don't want to take up a lot of time. It's crazy you're just talking about Dice because I was going to ask about the exact same thing. I watched his Showtime show, which I'd never seen all the way through today. But hey, Roseanne, you're great, and screw Hollywood. You're better off doing stand-up. So
yeah, I think so too.
So I'm out in Savannah. So come up to the dirty South.
All
right,
thanks
peace.
for the invite. Thank you.
See you, Tim.
See you later.
Yeah, bye-bye. Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys, for being so easy with the questions. I do appreciate it. It's going to make it a lot easier. We're going to get to as many of you as possible. Looney Tunes is coming up next, the source of the coronavirus. All right, Looney Tunes, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. What's your question for Roseanne?
I don't have a question, just a comment. She should do a spinoff titled Roseanne, the Mandela Effect. And
What's missing?
I'm 33 years old. Many fond memories of your show, and you're in my heart, and I love you.
No, thank you so much. That's sweet.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye. That's great. Yes, you could do Roseanne the Mandela Effect, and then the whole family disappears. You have a whole new cast of different people. What's changed? The whole different cast. Okay, God's Child is coming up next. God's Child, getting your microphone working, buddy, and you can give us your question for Roseanne. Are you there? Got to get your microphone working. And then make sure the stream is muted in the background. Can't hear you. I can hear you now. I can hear you now. What's your question, buddy?
Hey, I haven't got a question, but I was just mind blown when I ran into Rosie on YouTube last year, and you mentioned you were having those mental issues, and I was watching your videos and I was just blown away because in New Zealand, I'm an American citizen in New Zealand, and I had a political movement that went viral in New Zealand, and it looked like I'd get to be Prime Minister. But that aside, I put a post up on the Facebook page, and I said, and here comes Trump to drain the swamp. And immediately after that, I lost my IT companies. The CEO of 2 Degrees that I was going to partner with here is a mobile network. He was an American as well. He died in a plane crash. And then something happened to my head. And I lost all my articulation. I couldn't talk. I used to do big, positive speeches for sales staff and stuff like that. And I lost all my friends. I got attacked on Facebook hard out by the media. And I hadn't seen Roseanne for years. And then all of a sudden she popped up on my recommended YouTubes just randomly. And I was watching the video and you were really struggling to talk. And you were talking about that spiritual awakening. It was when you were going through that phase, you could tell your head was a bit fuzzy. And that's exactly what happened to me. So it was like we had these political, and then I started looking into, you were talking. I started looking into your story a little bit, and you and I have a very similar story. So I just wanted you to know, I don't think it's mental illness. I think we were attacked using some sort of high-powered technology, and there's a bit more to the story as well. I don't want to sow any seeds.
My friends think that too.
Absolutely, and I want you to know that because I have no mental problems. Some people disagree with me, that I know, but especially me emailing Patrick, hey, how are you? And by the way, it's really so amazing to be sitting here talking to all of you guys, methods, true reporting. This awakening process. I think the first stage that we're at is we're all being connected, and we all have different pieces of the puzzle.
That's right.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, God's Child. Thanks for your call, buddy. We got to get on to. We got 35 people waiting.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Okay. Excellent. And good calls so far, you guys. Let's see.
Yeah.
Who's next? Frederick Brent. Frederick. Oh, SGT report is coming up, and I see that Joe M.
Oh my God! I love that
Yeah.
show too.
Sean's a great guy. Also, Linda McAllister is in the chat. So is Joe M. So hello to both of you guys. Glad you're here.
Hi, guys.
Frederick, are you there,
iPod's up
buddy?
there too.
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing?
Oh, hello, iPod. Thank you, Frederick. What's your question for Roseanne?
So I wanted to give a shout out to Roseanne, you, and Methods. You guys are all awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. You
Okay.
are too.
Thanks, Frederick.
Now, one thing I want to say to Roseanne, question, is when they took your show off, are all the other people liberals? Like, now you understand no patriots watch that show anymore, ever.
I know.
So the question is, all the rest of your cast, were they all just liberals?
Yes.
Okay. And the second thing is I'm not going to ask you to answer this question, but I'm going to ask you to think about it.
Okay.
And hopefully you give us the answer at a later date. Because I know you know inside of what actually goes on in Hollywood. But hopefully you can give us some tidbits of like how corrupt it really is.
It's everything that you've heard, everything that we're doing now. It's truly, truly horrifying. People have, like I said, no self-reflection. Like vampires don't have a reflection in the mirror because they have no self-reflection. And it's a lot like Night of the Living Dead.
Okay, well, you have patriots on your back all the time.
100%.
I know. Thank you. Thank you
Well,
very much.
Frederick, thank you for your call, buddy.
Bye.
We'll talk to you soon. All right. I also just saw that iPod's in the chat. Thank you, iPod.
iPod.
Yeah, glad he's here. Man, I wish I had all this time to go through these super chats, guys. So I just want to say ahead of time, thank you to everybody who gave a super chat. What I'm going to do is put all those questions together, and I'll submit them to Roseanne, and maybe she can just write me an email, and then I'll read it on the air. Jen's iPhone is on the line. Jen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Jen. What's your question for Roseanne?
Well, first of all, Roseanne, I've loved you forever. I think we're kindred spirits, and I'm sure that this has come to your thought processes. Do you think the real reason why they let you go is because they knew that you would red pill millions of people?
Yeah, I figure that, and because I had timed it pretty good myself, that there would be a rerun of the whole season that would last until the midterms in 2018. And so when they canceled the show, they must have figured that out, and because they canceled the show so that the reruns would never be showed. But yeah, I think that was all coordinated from a high place.
All right, Jen, any more questions?
Nope, just want to tell her I love her and looking forward to seeing her. And I'm in Wichita, Kansas, by the way. Hopefully you'll come here someday. Thank you.
I will. Thank you.
All right, Jen, thanks for your call. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you, everybody, for the awesome quality calls so far. Here comes my good friend and a friend of the program, SGT Report. Sean, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, I'm just fanboying out. I just love Roseanne for just ever. I'll self-disclosure, nobody knows how old I am. I'm 51 years old, so I saw Roseanne Barr on Johnny Carson as a kid, and my mom and I were just in stitches. Roseanne, I just love you, and I just want to thank you for your voice and your courage. And I got to tell you, I really think that cast, your castmates really sold you out. And I heard what you said about Sarah Gilbert, and I don't know these people, but John Goodman, he had the power and the clout to stand by you. And I just think that whole cast should have stood by you and said, if you're going to force Roseanne out, then we walk. No cast, no show. And you know what? ABC did the same thing to Last Man Standing, and it ended up on Fox. And Last Man Standing at the time was a profitable show for them, a very, very profitable, high-rated show. So one way or the other, y'all could have stuck together and you would have landed on your feet. So I just think what the cast did to you is absolutely despicable.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was like, God, talk about kicking somebody when they're down. But, that's Hollywood too. Somebody wrote that it's not enough for people in Hollywood to succeed. You also have to see all of your friends and enemies destroyed.
Yeah.
There you go.
They sold you out like liberals tend to do.
Yeah, they sell people out.
Well, look, hey, we all stand together here, and I just wanted to call in and give a shout out to Methods and Red Pill too. Red Pill, I think you want 9,000 people watching right now. You've got a bigger audience than CNN.
When I saw the highest it went was 8,500, but I don't know what it's at right now. They're showing me 7,000, so I know that they kind of play around with the numbers. What I can see.
Yeah, it hit 9,000 there at one point,
Wow.
a little north of 9,000. So
That's
I just
really
wanted to call in and say hi to Roseanne. I love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
See
Jesse
you,
GT.
buddy.
We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Great. Awesome. Thank you for calling. This is great. We've got so many good callers tonight. Group C is coming up next. Group C, are you there? Well, we got to get the microphone working. While that is working, I'm going to try to get to some of these other super chats that I wasn't able to get to.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, there we go. Thank you. You saved me. Okay, what's your question for Roseanne, Group C?
No question. Just wanted to throw out a funny joke, and then I'll let you get on to the next caller. You'll love this joke. So, why shouldn't people on the left own guns?
Why?
Because they're trigger happy.
That's a good one. Very true.
Really, I had to share that with you one day, Red Pill, and what better time than with Roseanne and Methods in the show, right?
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. All right. Well, thanks, Group C. I appreciate you calling, buddy.
See you, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye. Okay, great. Let's see. Coming up next is Galaxy A50. I believe that's the name of your phone, but if we can get your name when you come on the air, then we can tell the audience and we can get your question for Roseanne. And in the meantime, Vivian Williams, Joyce Bippis, review, Roger Schroeder, thank you. Seabass says, YouTube won't let me post this. They hired actors to act in trauma. People at home watching were unaffected. It's burned in their brains. They have Trump derangement syndrome. Chris Hawkins says, that's because Obama has been self-indulging Big Mike and too much too often. Okay, another Big Mike joke. Roger Schroeder says, Roseanne, I own your first TV appearance, and it's in the Smithsonian Great Moments in Television History. I get a hold of me through Looney's in Colorado Springs. Love you, my friend. Then XRP Ness says, Roseanne, do you think Michelle Obama plays baseball with a Louisville Slugger? And if so, did they kill Joan Rivers for exposing that? This is actually something I wanted to ask you about because I think pretty much anybody who saw this happen thought that it was a little too coincidental that Joan Rivers, who, as far as I was concerned, she was going to live forever. I mean, you know, if anybody was working on life extension, it was Joan. And she just happened to pass away after making that comment and then having it published on TMZ. What did you think at the time?
I thought the exact same thing that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And we miss her so bad. She really had a good voice of the middle.
Mm-hmm. Do you did you hear anyone speaking about what happened to Joan? Like, I mean, did anyone openly consider that as a possibility that she had been taken out for maybe being too candid?
Everybody thought that.
Wow.
Everybody that I talked to thought that, all the comedians.
Wow, that's
but,
crazy.
You know, it is pretty weird that some doctor that wasn't even on the hospital staff wanders in and starts doing surgery on her.
Mm-hmm. Very strange. All right, well, Galaxy A50, I don't think that your microphone is working, buddy, so we're going to move on to the next call. Thank you for the attempt, and send me an email, and I'll try to get a question to Roseanne. MAGA Jedi 1745. Another good friend of the program. MAGA Jedi is making a documentary about Michael Flynn and his situation, sanctioned by the Flynn family. MAGA Jedi, looks like you need to get your microphone working too. Or Abundant, who I did see a couple of super chats from, says, this is the truth, gratitude worth $1 million. P.S. It's you. You are abundant. Okay, you are abundant. Okay.
Hey, bud.
Hey, what's up, MAGA? How you doing, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, hi.
Yep.
Hey, Roseanne.
Hi.
It's an honor to get to speak to you.
Thank you.
107 is a friend of mine. We talk almost every day.
Oh, cool.
Juan's helping me on a documentary for General Flynn.
Oh, cool.
I'm wondering when I'm done with that one, maybe I can fly to Hawaii and do a documentary with you. What do you think?
Sure, why not?
That would be awesome.
It'd blow people's minds.
Well, I'm ready, and if you want to reach out to me, we'll have Red Pill get us in touch. That'd be so cool.
Okay.
I can facilitate that. Sure.
Thank you.
That would be fantastic. Thanks for all you've done. I've been a fan since I was in my 20s. I'm 50 now, so I've seen all the Roseanne stuff.
Thank you so much. That's sweet.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling. I can't wait to see the show.
See you, man.
All right, peace.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, he's good. He's a real good filmmaker.
Juan sent me something where he's on talking about General Flynn. I just watched it today. It's fabulous and very informative. He really hooks up a lot of loose strings for us.
Hey, Daddy Dragon, can you mute the stream in the background, bud?
Yeah, I'm doing that now. Thanks.
Okay,
I'm muted now.
Okay.
Hey,
all right.
I know you too. Hi, I watch you too.
Hello, how are you, Roseanne? I want to know, if you don't mind speaking to me, will you come to England and do a Roseanne Barr Q tour?
Oh, sounds like a great idea.
Well, I'm sure we can.
People would come. I wonder if you could really sell tickets to a Q event. You think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
All right, well, I'll think about it. I love talking about Q. Day and night, everyone's bored with me. That's all I do.
If you guys if you were to set the event up and sell tickets ahead of time and then, hold it based on interest, then you would be assured that people were going to show up because everybody bought all the tickets. So I don't know. I don't know how to make an event like that. So that's just an idea I had.
Well, I can definitely make an event like that, probably at the O2 in London. And let me tell you something, everybody loves you, Roseanne, in England. We all love you, and we would love it if you come over here and we done a proper professional Q environment, and that would really wind up the establishment.
Wouldn't it? Oh my God, it sure would.
That'd be fun.
Good stuff. All right, well, Daddy Dragon and I are also going to be doing a show here in the very near future, so thanks for calling in, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep. See you.
Love
Bye-bye.
you.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. All the heavy hitters calling in tonight.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Let's see. Aaron is on the line now. If this is the same Aaron that I think it is, good friend of the program. Aaron, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, buddy. Congratulations on what a great guest. Roseanne, you rock. You are the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fun. You're so relatable. Everyone can relate to Roseanne. I mean, don't you think?
Absolutely.
And thank goodness for Q. When they started taking all of our data, I got worried. But now that the white hats and Q are using it to get the bad guys, it's the best thing ever.
It is.
And so thank you, Roseanne. I just wanted to call in and say, I want to invite you to my show too, Truth Quest. You could be my first guest.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd love to be on everybody's show. I love it.
Well, Roseanne, we'll put a list together and me and Red Pill will work with you and get you in contact with all these great people.
You guys are so nice. Thank you. I would love it. Thank you
course.
so much.
Glad to help.
You.
All right. Aaron, thanks for your call, buddy.
Thank you.
We'll
Bye-bye.
talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, sweet. Aaron is also going to be coming on the show here soon. We're going to be doing a super secret show. You guys will see it when it airs.
Boy.
My good friend Hog is on the phone line, or it might be his wife. It looks like it's his wife, Hog's wifey. We need to get your microphone turned on, Mrs. Hog. She's working on it. While she's doing that, Ben Schwagel wants to know, Roseanne, have you ever watched Russian videos? Very informative about the Masons and their favorite number 33. Have you ever seen that channel, Russian Vids?
No.
No. Okay. Then
I'll tell you guys who I think's just the greatest is Homeland Security, and it's spelled S-I-C-K Urity.
Oh, okay.
And that's Dr. Sean Frost.
Okay.
And you guys would love to hear him talk about Switzerland and our system.
All right. Looks like we've got Mrs. Hogg on the line. Are you there?
Hi, Red Bell.
Hi. How you doing? Do you have the stream on in the background?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I think we have a delay. What's your question for Roseanne?
Hi, Roseanne. Calling from Detroit, Michigan.
Hi.
Have you had any negative interaction or negative feedback from any other celebrities due to you being a Trump supporter?
Oh yeah, when this whole thing went down for me, they couldn't wait to take shots at me and kick me while I was laying there. It was, you know, people that they were coming out of the woodwork.
Sad stuff. All right. Did you have a follow-up for that?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks for letting me call in.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much. And thank you, Hog, too. We'll talk to you soon, guys. All right. Have a great night. All right. Sweet. Who's coming up next? We've got Jacqueline. Jacqueline coming up next. Hi, Jacqueline. We just need to get your microphone turned on. In the meantime, Radar New Jersey said, quite frankly, another big interview tonight with the one and only Mrs. Barr. Thank you, and especially thank you, Miss Barr, for the force of good that you are. You going on Frank's show tonight?
Thank you, Miss Barr, for the
No?
force.
I would. I love Frank.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'll put you in contact with Frank, too. Frank's a good friend.
Thank you for all your nice words. I appreciate it.
And Jacqueline, did you get the stream muted in the background? I'm going to unmute you.
Bye.
Okay.
Hi, I'm getting sounds everywhere. I don't know how to fix it.
You gotta turn your radio down.
Yeah, turn down the volume on the stream in the background just so that you've only got the call open right here. Or you can hit pause or something like that. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. All right. How are you tonight, Jacqueline?
Cool. This is so good. Roseanne, I am your fan. And I'm a fan of almost no one. Well, no, that's not true. But I am your fan. I'm Jewish.
Oh, cool.
And I love Jesus. And I love you expose.
Well, then you're a Christian.
I'm a born again Jewish believer in Jesus, who I believe actually kept the laws and was our example. He didn't do all the rabbinic stuff, but he did what was written by God. Hallelujah. I believe
you're a Christian, so don't say you're a Jew.
I am such a Jew because Jesus is a Jew.
I know that. That's true. Okay, you got me on that one.
He's a Jew, you know? But hallelujah, hallelujah, and he loves us. He loves you. So Roseanne exposes, like, she knows who Kathy O'Brien is. They're like homies.
She's a good friend.
Oh, yeah, Kathy O'Brien. Oh, wow. I would love to have her on the show.
You should. I'll tell her.
Please, thank you.
I just admire Roseanne so much for her courage. And I just want, you know what? This is what I want to tell you. All things are used for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. So whatever challenge you went through, it's so obvious already how it's used for your good, because how they manipulate TV and stuff like that, no matter what program, really. But like, this is like, you're just going to see more and more, I believe. God willing, you will see more and more how this is all going to be used for your good. And I pray that.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right. Well,
I'm watching you on YouTube. So.
Oh, goody. Thank you.
All right, Jacqueline. Thank you for your call and thank you for watching.
Thank you. Peace out. Much love.
Yep. Peace. Bye.
Bye.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Coming up next, we've got another phone, Galaxy S8 Plus. Caller, can we get your microphone turned on and can we get your name, and make sure you mute your stream in the background so we don't get the feedback. Son of a green card, my friend says, my wife has an idea to stop human trafficking. We need to bring back lion pits for them. That would be biblical in a number of ways.
That's a good idea.
It is a good idea. I can deal with that. Then my friend Patricia Furlong says, things are happening. Who's first? We answered that question. And then LK Dark to Light says, Roseanne, love you so much. And In the Matrix and Joe M are in the chat. Where we go one, we go all. United we stand. Good stuff. Good stuff. And can we get your name for the audience, caller?
Yeah, it's Average Joe. Red Pill.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. Love your show. Methods, love you too, man.
Hey, what's up, brother? I was watching you earlier, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was going to be one thing I wanted to mention. My brother's Conscious Abe. You might know him, Roseanne.
Oh, yeah. I do.
Abe would love to have you on the show.
Yeah, I love him. He's smart, man.
Yeah, he is.
Y'all are awesome.
Say thank you so much for that shout out a while back. Much love there. My biggest question was, of course, when you come on the show, but what's your favorite Q post?
Oh boy. Oh my God.
Yeah, his brother hit me with that on their stream, and I was a deer in headlights.
Oh God. I like them all. There's so many I can't pull one forward right now, but you know, I love the one where he said, God wins. I love that one.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on, and hope to see you on 5x5 soon.
Yeah, I love 5x5.
Love you, Red Pill. Love you, Methods. Keep doing what you're doing.
Love you
Much
too, brother.
love, brother.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon. All right, awesome, good stuff. Yeah, Abe. Full disclosure, Abe already asked me if I could put you guys in touch. He would love to have you on the show on 5x5.
On all of them, I love it.
Well, the good news is we've got nothing. We've got nothing but time. We're gonna have plenty.
Me neither. All I do is pull weeds day and night.
I can see how you have so much time to watch YouTube. I mean, if you're working out in the garden, you just throw your ear pods in or whatever and just take a listen. Kawanahente Crash, you're on the phone, but we don't have a microphone. Baby Yoda again said, Roseanne, please come hang out with this fine group. Good therapy. So yeah, just next time you're in the chat, definitely say something, and you can always call in. Okay, that's what
I'll do.
Yeah, Metalhead says, you are the news now. Joshua Taylor says, Roseanne, did you ask POTUS about Q? Have you had the opportunity to speak with President Trump since this whole Q thing started?
Well, you know, that's what I was supposed to go to the what's it called, Super Bowl party he gave, but I got a horrible flu and had to cancel. But that was what I was gonna ask him. I was gonna ask, you know, what is it? But you know, and then you know, tell everybody what he said.
Oh man, I'm salivating just at the very thought. Well,
but, I mean, I think it's him, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, one of a couple. I think Dan Scavino is on the team probably, and then there's probably some other people who are, you know, military intelligence guys, or maybe some former people who are just helping out as contractors. But Miss Crash, are you there?
Yeah. Hi.
How you doing?
You might know me as Mohawk Girl.
Yes, that's right, Mohawk Girl. I was trying to remember. You told us last time.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell Roseanne that I love her and that she's one of my biggest heroes. One of my biggest female heroes, especially now.
Thank you very much.
I was just wondering about if anything supernatural ever happened to you before? Or paranormal?
Oh yeah, a lot. All my life, yeah, a lot of that.
Any particular instance that stands out?
Oh my God, I could go on forever about that. Well, I had when I was really little, it's in my first book, which is called My Life as a Woman. And I talk about it in there that I had a vision when I was about 3 years old. And I held that vision close and dear, still do. And it has kind of led me around and told me that someday I would have an answer to all the questions I had and that I would find them in books. And so I always have telepathic relationships with books. I've had that all my life. The weirdest one was I was walking down the street at Abbott Kinney with my boyfriend and my sister, and I always have books coming up to me and calling me to open them, you know. And there was a red book open on the corner on the ground. And my sister said, oh my God, look at this. There's a book laying there. And I said, yeah. And I was really anxious to get to it. And I crossed the road and picked up the book. And it was open to a page about a place I had just come back from.
Oh, very interesting.
Which was Jerusalem. And the book was about the places I had gone to and the places I had seen while there in Jerusalem. It was a mind blower. My knees buckled. That was the strongest one ever. My knees buckled and I fell into my sister. And it was just like, oh my God, sometimes you just can't take it. It's just so otherworldly, you know. But that was the weirdest one.
Well, God is sending us messages in many, many different ways, and I'm glad to hear that you're open to the idea that we're getting communications from a number of different directions.
About that. I'm all about that, and I also teach meditation for how to get your third eye open and hear better when God talks to you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Mohawk Girl, thanks for your call and for your question.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
You look beautiful, Roseanne. Love you.
Thank you very much. That's nice.
Good stuff. We'll talk to you soon. Also looks like my friend Neon Revolt is in the audience. Roseanne, have you ever read any of Neon Revolt's articles?
Are you kidding? I love Neon Revolt.
Yeah.
What a genius. Man, this guy knows the numbers too.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Love it.
Neon is super smart. And Miss Crash, it looks like I'm unable to remove her from the call for some reason. That's very strange. Well, Mohawk Girl, if you can hang up, that would be great. But let's try to bring in our next caller, Trisha Q Patriot for Life. Trisha, are you there? Can you make sure that you mute your stream in the background?
Yes, I turned it off actually.
Awesome.
Hey.
Good stuff.
Let's see. Hang on. I want to see Roseanne too. Okay, I've got all four of you up there. Roseanne, I'm saving you for last, but I just have to shout out to Methods, Red Pill, of course, and True Reporting out there, SGT, all of you wonderful people that I just love watching your programs. And Roseanne, I was so disappointed when you got kicked off that show. It broke me. I felt so terrible for you. And I'm so glad that you're out here relating to all the people that love you. It's actually better. You know?
Oh boy, thank you. I think it is too. I feel like God released me from a terrible place that I was so unhappy and so attacked all the time. And you know, it's just a real pleasure for me to you know, be able to watch other people and see that I'm not the only one who feels and thinks this way.
I know. Well, God bless you and keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
I'll take
right.
care.
Trisha, thank you for your call and for your question. Good to hear from you again.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye. My girlfriend, real red pill girlfriend, wanted to know if you would scream Darlene just one time.
All right. Darlene!
It's perfect.
You know, Darlene is based on my own daughter, the one that said they're going to deport all the gays.
That's like the best takeaway quote from the night.
Oh my gosh. Well, she said thank you. She loved it. Neon loves it too, it looks like. Okay, so next caller is going to be, Alexandria Occasional Cortex. Alexandria, how funny would it be? This is a man, but if you were to run as your character against Alexandria Occasional Cortez in Brooklyn or New York, wherever she's from, but that would be great to see Occasional Cortex versus Ocasio Cortez. What's going on? What's your question for Roseanne?
Well, first of all, thank you. I love. Oh, how's that? Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you. Well, this is what a moment in history. Love you, Roseanne. Love you, Rose Pill, Red Pill, and love you, Methods, the trifecta of the movement. And I first just want to thank you all. I think you know what a huge movement this is and what a big part of it you all are. And thank you for what you do. And I just wanted to say, Roseanne, my mother's a big fan. She's been behind Trump for a while, but she's coming into the Q thing. It seems a little too weird for her. So can I ask you, Roseanne, if you could do a shout out to Maryland, first of all, and then if you can think of a Q proof maybe, or just the moment or event where you realized Q was legit. What was that for you?
Well, I knew right away the first time I heard it that it was legit. just because of the whole thing about Q clearance.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, then it keeps getting validated. And it's a weird time warp. It's kind of a cool time warp like that. That's kind of how I talk about the Torah too, is that a lot of things written in the Torah are for today. And Q picks that up where future meets past and past foreshadows future. And so those are my Q proofs when we come back and see like 2-year delta, and everything that he was talking about then is about right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a time machine and a time warp, and that's why I know that it could not be untrue.
Yeah, it's so ridiculously coordinated. I can say for myself, like as soon as I saw the post, I saw it reported on some website. Like somebody like had gotten the original post. Like it was like the day after. I just happened to be coming across it because I was looking for stuff on FBI Anon, and so I was looking for Anonymous Insider, and it just showed up in the search results. Obviously, before they were ridiculously falsified by search engines, but you know, saw that and then started following it, and then saw the post about Saudi Arabia. And then right after that, we had the purge in Saudi Arabia. And as soon as that happened, I was like, you know, obviously this is confirmation here. But also when it was signed 41020, when I saw 41020, I was like, that's DJT. I was like, this is clearly something to do with the president, if not the president himself. All right. Occasional Cortex, thanks for your call, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Now, this is actually from the Super Chat. Wes Laws wants to know what you think about saving Israel for last. Now, what I would say is that in the same way that the deep state has infiltrated into the government here in America, I believe that they've infiltrated into every government and every country on the planet. So, you know, when you saw that post, you know, Q saving Israel for last, you know, what did you think about that?
I thought that was just incredible. I thought that was the way it should go.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I call him Obama. I used to write Obamaoist.
Oh, like Maoists? Obama yeah. Maoists.
Yeah. And, you know, he's gone a long way to influence and corral Jewish opinion in the United States, and it's in Israel too. There's a lot of lefty liberals over there, and it's exactly like we have it here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think it's just part of draining the larger swamp, because there are people there who they don't have the Jewish people's or anybody's best interest at heart either. They're just part of some pipeline thing that they're doing.
Right.
But I think it's good that they do that last, and I think that'll be a big final piece that'll help wake America up.
And I think that the people who are part of that deep state network, in the same way that they pretend to be Christians and even Jews here in America, they're pretending to be part of that religion there in Israel, and they use it for cover, you know, in the same way that they use it for cover here. And it's part of the reason why you have people, you know, maybe like Owen, who look at, you know, people of a particular faith or nationality doing something, you know, that he perceives as evil. And then using that to identify the rest of people in that designation.
That's what makes me mad, because that's it seems to be peculiar around the subject of Jews and Judaism, but every culture has colluders and revolutionaries in it, and you can't mix apples and oranges there.
Exactly.
And you know, when they paint with that very broad brush and say Jews, this and that, well, that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
And you know, a lot of those people who just use a Jewish surname to you know, get off the hook for the anti-Semitic things they're saying, and for their communist crap, they aren't like me, and so I don't like to be grouped in with them. Like, I'm sure, like, you know, I talked to Candace Owens about this, and she doesn't like to be you know, included in the group of you know, black people who collude with white supremacy.
Sure.
So, you know, I mean, there's more than one kind of a Jew. I always say that, like there is more than one kind of any group.
Exactly.
And they're good and bad. And I don't want to get blamed for what, you know, people I don't like and don't consider part of my kin just because they have a surname. But I know that most of them, like in America, most of the Jews on the left, they're not really, they don't practice Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
They practice, you know, they're communists.
Right.
And
Right.
so, you know, the big target of the communists, like it was with the Nazis, was, you know, to marginalize Jewish opinion and silence it. They're very much the same at their core.
Well, and communism was based on Satanism from the get-go, you know? So, I mean, and that was part of it, was to kind of obfuscate the situation and, you know, use whatever that designation was in order to escape persecution for their evil deeds. So, yes, excellent. I like your take on it. My friend Cisco Lady Liberty is coming up next. While she's getting on the phone, my friend Charles Pixley, brilliant man, says, Roseanne, loved your panel discussion yesterday. Many great clerical, rabbinical, and political insights. And to your comment, you're right, they are holding back cures for cancer. Charles was imprisoned for some time by the FDA for bringing an alternative treatment for cancer into the United States sometime several years ago. So he has a lot of great insight on that. Cisco, are you there?
I am here.
Excellent. Glad to have you here. What's your question for Roseanne?
Okay, I have real fast. I'd like to send love to Methods, Red Pill, and all the wonderful patriots out there. Roseanne, dear lady, I have watched you from the beginning, and I've listened to your YouTube show all the time. I'm very loyal. And I just wanted to say, if you had any doubt that you are not right where you are supposed to be, love, I'm telling you, sometimes these journeys in our life, we take hard lefts turn out to be right turns, and boy, did you ever make a right turn. I am so proud of you, and I'm so glad to see what you're doing in this movement, and we are proud to have you standing with us in this movement, and I'm just so glad to see you so surrounded by love, and isn't it wonderful?
It is wonderful. I left Egypt.
Yeah.
100%.
Honey, thank you so much for your very kind words. They mean so much to me, and I have wondered that myself. If
right where you are,
I've wondered those things myself, and your comments make me feel very happy. Thank you.
Well, you should be, love, because like I said, you're right where you should be, and everybody, this is genuine love being poured out to you. And I know at times, because like I said, I've watched you, I've watched your show, I've watched you develop and come through it. You know, we stood with you, we went through it with you almost, you know, we got to see it. And I can tell you, when you did the show, I could see what you were trying to do. We could see what you were trying to do. We were all going through that. We all had crazy liberals in our family, or, you know, unfortunately under our own roof, and bless their little hearts, you know, they're so daft. They're so daft, aren't they? And thick-headed. But you helped me red pill somebody, and I'm sure if your show helped me, then others did too. So it was not in vain. But now look at you. Look at your red pill in a way, and you're right here in the Cuban, and we just love you so much. And
I love you too, and thank you, and all the people who have sent such wonderful energy and thoughts to me over these 2 years where I needed it so bad, and you guys have walked with me the whole way, and I just appreciate it and love you.
And we're here for you now, and I would love to have you on my show to talk about the spiritual warfare that we're fighting in this.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Open invitation. I'll send an email to Red Pill and have you on. You can co-host with me or host all you want. My show is your show, baby.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's a great subject that we really need to talk about.
All
we
right.
need that high vibration. I love you, Red Pill. I'm gonna go. Love you,
too,
Message.
Cisco.
Much
babe.
love.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Yeah, she's a great woman right there. Great woman.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see. Coming up next is Moanon, also another fellow YouTuber. What's up, Mo? We got to get your microphone on.
I recognize you too. Hi.
Yep. While she's getting her mic on, Daniel Turgeon said, stopped watching the show when they fired you, as I think many of us did. Looney Tunes said, Roseanne, make a spinoff called The Roseanne Mandela Effect. Thank you. Roseanne, loved you on The Pew. Love all patriots, freedom fighters. Roseanne, you are loved and appreciated in England. Cindo A. Roseanne, what is your favorite Q post? We did get that answered. Exploding Pumpkin Productions, which was MAGA Jedi, says, love you, Roseanne. Maybe we can meet and do a documentary. Rich Knapp said, newfound respect for Roseanne. God bless her. You, Red Pill, and Methods for all you do. Great show. Mo, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you?
Hi.
Excellent.
Hi.
Hi.
I love all you guys. I just want you to know. And Roseanne, you didn't just leave Egypt, you are leading others out. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Kanye West? And are there any woke celebrities, in your opinion, in Hollywood? And also, not to sound redundant, but I wanted to get you on my show too. But
I'd love to.
We'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, there's some people that are kind of woke. They're not all the way woke to the whole Democrat scam. You know, they just can't see it. They're so self-righteous. You know, the Bible says that in Judaism it says that arrogance and ignorance always go together, and you can't have one without the other, and that they undo the person who holds those two opposite things in their head. They always undo the person. And so I think that it's part of when you're arrogant, you're ignorant, and you just can't, you have no self-reflection. You can't, what do you call it? Ponder anything about yourself. It's all like verbal vomit. You're just regurgitating program. And that's not a good way to live your life. There's no joy in that.
Like shallow, right? Do you think Kanye's waking up a little bit? Do you think I don't know, I've spent a lot of time covering him and I'm just trying to figure him out.
I love him. I think he's a great artist. I really do. You know, I can see what he's going through. I think that he has mental health problems, issues, I should say. And what he's going through right now, a lot of us who have those same bipolar issues, we've gone through it too. I hope he gets through it well and is happy. And you know, he's a huge influence on our culture.
Great. Thank you so much. Have a great night, guys. Great show.
Mo, thanks for your call.
See you, Mo.
All right. So, you guys, we are reaching the end of the program. Methods, I wanted to ask you if you had anything that you wanted to ask Roseanne that we didn't get to.
Well, I think we covered everything, and I'm sure Roseanne knows she's more than welcome to come back on, and we can have discussions about things for hours. Chase many rabbit trails and see what we can chat about. I mean, everybody's hung out. We've had 9,000 people here tonight, Roseanne.
Awesome. Love them all.
Yeah, absolutely. But like Cisco was saying, I definitely agree. A lot of people in the chat agree. You know, we love you in this movement. We love having you here. We've always wanted to connect with you. We saw what you went through. We fought for you. We will continue to fight for you. Whatever direction you want to go with things, just say the word. We will we'll fight alongside you, and you are definitely welcome here with open arms. And you know, thank you for the opportunity, you know, to be able to chat with you.
Thank you for having me on and all that. And I'll tell you what we want. We want our country back, and we want to run it the way we see fit, the way that works for us, not the few at the expense of the many. And we shall have that day.
All about it.
100%. All right. Well, Roseanne, I also want to say thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. You have been a joy and a pleasure. As Method said, you were welcome back anytime. So you just let me know if you want to come back on the show. And if you don't mind, I would love to, you know, just go through and get some of these other super chat questions for you and see if I can send them over to you. And,
yeah, you can.
Okay. Awesome.
Maybe I'll answer them on my own thing.
That's a great idea.
You could what do you call it? I'll post it on your thing, and then you could, what do you call it, retweet it or
Yeah,
something.
I will.
we'll
Do
definitely
that.
share it.
That'd be fun. I'd love to do that.
All right.
I like making videos. It's fun.
Good stuff. Well, we love watching them. So, all right, you guys. I want to say also thank you very much to all of my moderators who helped keep the conversation civil tonight. Thank you to all of the guests who were here in the audience, everybody who was here watching, and again, everybody who got a super chat in, but unfortunately we didn't get to say it on the air. Roseanne is going to answer it on her own channel, so you guys can go ahead and check that out over there. I also do want to remind everybody that when we hit 200,000 subscribers on this channel, which may be anytime in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be giving away 2 $100 gift cards to 2 lucky winners. All you have to do is like, share, and comment the videos. Make sure you're subscribed, and you can get a chance to win. And then I'm going to keep doing contests as we continue to increase people. Yeah. All right. So, as always, this has been Red Pill 78, and I am the corruption detector. Thank you to my good friend and co-host Methods. Thank you to Roseanne, and thank you to everybody who was here tonight. Good luck,
Where we
everyone.
go, let we go all.
That's right. Good luck, and God bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon.